foundation. We are very happy to be here. We come here every year, but we skipped last year. And we are in holistic inner science. So it is relationship with everybody, everything that we do. That's what we try to expand on. So today, and there is a questionnaire. If we can fill it afterwards and give it to Professor, that would be appreciated. And this is a sort of a program. We'll introduce a tool to use it just everywhere. So after a month, you can give your feedback if that is going to be used after this talk from our distinguished person here. We know after me is going to be Dr. Satya. He's going to briefly talk about what is holistic inner science, and after that, everybody knows him and his distinguished professor career, and also his distinguished personal life is very interesting. If you don't know, ask him someday to explain that. And then after him will be Vivekananji. He's come from India, and he is a practitioner of holistic inner science. He is a celibate, and from very young age, he was very inquisitive about what is life, what's the purpose of life. So he learned that, studied that, and now he's full-time. He's a bachelor in electrical engineering. He worked for about 8 years, and then he gave up his profession to just go to every places in the world to talk about holistic inner science and help people to be blissful. So with that, I will ask Dr. Satya to say a few words here.
Well, good morning. Welcome to this mini session on holistic science. First of all, I would confess that my knowledge of this holistic science is very, very limited. I know very few things about this, and I just give a brief introduction about this, what this is about, and later on, if you have any questions, there is Vivekananji, who is expert in this. Easy questions I will answer, difficult questions he will answer. And what is holistic science? Now, normally people are with the impression that, oh, it's another kind of religious conference. No. This has nothing to do with religion. We don't talk about Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, Jainism, all these isms we don't talk about. We talk about only self. In this holistic, it is a science actually. Why they call it science? Because it's science of knowing self. Why we should know about ourselves? To be happy. How many of you don't want to be happy? Nobody. How many want to be happy? How many want to be rich? How many want to be rich and happy? You know what, my friends? All the millionaires, when they interviewed, top 10 millionaires, 90% of them are unhappy. They had plenty of money, luxurious life they have, but still they are not happy. Holistic science doesn't deal with material things. It deals with happiness. How one can achieve happiness. We have to set ourselves aside from this material life, Sometimes we find the people in the hutment, they are very happy. Rich people in the mansion, they are not happy. Attitude. How? How we are going to develop these skills so that we become internally happy? This is a world of competition and comparison. That brings us unhappiness. Okay? If my friend got $100, I think I lost $100. I become unhappy. Not because he got it, because I did not get it. Sometimes students lodge some silly complaints in my classes. One student came and asked me, "Sir, I am very unhappy." "What happened? Anything wrong?" He said, I asked him, "What is your grade?" "I made grade A." "Why are you unhappy?" "Sir, my friend who deserves grade B also got grade A." He is unhappy. Because his friend also made grade A, which made him unhappy. Comparison, competition, comparison, these are the things, two words that are killing us. Now, what are the benefits of holistic science? We get to know what is the, where is the key for the happiness lying? Is in yourself. Most of the time we keep our happiness key in others' hands. Some people say, Satya is not a good person. Oh, he commented on me, I feel unhappy. Why should I feel so? Let him think. If he says Satya professor is a very nice professor, I should, no. Let him think whatever he feels. I am what I am. We should be what we are. We should be happy internally, knowing ourselves and doing ourselves what we do, and so on. Don't keep your happiness, the key of the happiness in others' hands, because that is the road to disaster. We're all smart students here, we're smart kids. This generation is very smart.
Very smart.
Very smart. And and you know, let me tell a small joke about this, how smartness is that, you know, one young entrepreneur, he started a restaurant. To increase the sales, he put a board outside that anybody can come and have meals free. You don't have to pay the bill. Your grandson will pay the bill. Okay, that's very good. One 18-year-old boy, he went inside. He took plenty of things, you know, he took lunch and other things. He was getting up to get out, and then he came and gave the bill of $100. He took food worth $40. He was given the bill of $100. He said, what is the board? You said, I can eat anything, my grandson will pay. What is this? You're unfair. He says, sir, this is the bill of your grandfather. You are the grandson, so you have to pay, right? So the kids are very smart. He started entrepreneurship, and then they have got innovative ideas. So here, I don't want to take much time on this, and I will see that the doctor is there, going to talk more elaborately about this. What are the intricacies? How you got to maintain relationships with others, and your anger management, relations management is part of OB actually. Since all the students are studying organizational behavior.
Oh, okay.
And it's a part of personality actually. How we develop personality so that you become internally happy. So I give all the stage to the Dr. Saab to come here and then give presentation.
And you can ask, after his presentation, you can ask questions, question and answers. And you can quiz him on organizations also.
Thank you, Dr. Satya. Friends, you are students of organizational behavior. Yes, so that is your major?
Business. Business is a major.
Business is the major.
But
Okay.
now they're studying organizational behavior.
Right. So we will try to understand what this holistic science is all about and how it can help us, first of all, understand ourselves and others. So this is about happy, harmonious, stress-free living, using it just everywhere to. This is all little about me. This is our organization. Okay. Why it is called science of blissful daily living? Because the life what we are living is totally science. And we will prove that at the end of the session you will understand and appreciate that yes, truly it is science. We'll take these different parts one by one. Okay. What is the goal of your life? As Dr. has very well said, happiness is the goal of my life. We will try to see how human life is a natural composition and we can remain happy and blissful effortlessly. But what makes us unhappy or suffer, we will try to highlight that. So, okay, let's go further. Primarily, the definition of health, what the medical society tells us is when you are physically, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, socially, and spiritually healthy, then you are healthy. We are not going to touch many of the aspects, but we will try to understand at every stage. Today, let us see the scenario today. High cases of divorce. We all see that. Human society is divided, they are fighting. We have divided mind. What it means, we cannot get along with others. And broken and burning heart. We must learn from the nature. These planets, the planetary motion, are they natural? Are they working on their own? Or someone is controlling them? If someone is controlling them, then maybe someday he will feel tired and say, I'm not going to wake up the sun. So we will have delayed sunrise. Is it possible?
No.
It's not possible. So we know that the planetary motion, whatever we see around, up in the sky, they are natural, they're working normally, perfectly. That's why the seasons on the earth, it is perfect. You know the matter, the atomic and subatomic activities in any matter, we have protons, neutrons, electrons, there is some order. Who runs that? It is natural. Is it natural? Or someone is doing that? It's natural. Plants, are they natural? Okay, someone can plant it, but does it grow naturally or someone do something to make it grow? Natural. Animals? You may feed them processed food, what humans have made, but still, are they natural or no? They are natural. Now comes, so creatures are also included. What do you mean the insects and all that? How about human? Now, the embryonic movement in humans while they are passing through the initial stage of birth, is it natural or unnatural? Everybody agrees? How about our inside activity? Digestion and everything? Natural. Sometimes if you eat more, you feel that, oh, I'll have to do some work. I help my body digest. People say you don't have to do, just go to bed, sleep, rest, it will digest. Correct? So our problem is regarding social living. Now, as per holistic inner science, even our social living is natural. Do we accept that as natural? What we mean, our interactions with each other, is it natural or unnatural? Natural? Is it natural? Then we should not have any problem. When we don't have any problem with the other plants, animals, creatures, planets, then why do we have problems? Right, you're right. You're perfect. Because everything what we see around is natural. Every happening in our life is natural. Do we accept it as natural or not? There lies the billion-dollar question. So, we are living unnaturally under the potent effect of likes, dislikes, anger, pride, possessiveness, greed. And so we are suffering. What doctor said, comparison and contrast. So, why all these weaknesses are there? We will try to understand that too. So, if we see the nature is bringing back everything to normality. What we see earthquakes, what we see volcano eruptions, what we see tsunamis, what we see extreme weather changes or floods, what is it? The nature is bringing back to normality what was disturbed by plants, animals, creatures, human beings. That's all. Okay. Kids, the moment they grow a little bit, they are dumped with toys. Because the mother wants to work, maybe household work, whatever. But what are we doing then? They can remain inherently happy, but we give them toys, make them dependent on toys, and that's how they don't learn the art of getting along with others. Same way calculators and phones, they have weakened our mental skills. When this phone diary that was not there, people used to remember ample number of phone numbers. If you just ask, then they don't need to take out their telephone diary. But now probably their own phone, they say, let me check. That's a tragedy. Late marriages. They want to make career. And how do you define career? It's a big question mark. At the age of 30, 35 and 40, they think that now I'm serious about marriage. Medically, it's a big question mark. So, late marriages is cause of lot of adjustment skills. But imagine if marriage takes place at the early age of like say 25 to 30 years of age or 25 to 28, then they grow together and they learn and understand each other, get along with each other. If you try to call someone, they don't answer. But if you text them, you get the message right away. I have seen that. I believe in if there is something important, I must call. They don't pick the phone. This is the situation. So, lack of physical communication. We must communicate. Then what is the process? Check yourself. Observe yourself. How are we living? Correct yourself. And then with this right understanding and positive vision of what holistic science is offering us, we can make all of our life situations happy and blissful. So the solution is truly, we must keep in touch, we must interact. Okay, so now we're going to part 2, science of determination. We will quickly see how does our body works. Body is responsible for physical actions, speech, speaking function, mind, thinking function. Reflective consciousness pictures. If I ask you, where's your car? Oh, it is there on this side of this parking lot and this thing. How can you picture that? That is our faculty within us, which goes out, sees, and gives me the answer. Intellect, it forces, evaluates, and makes a decision. Ego endorses what the intellect has decided, and the action takes place naturally. This is the basic functionality which takes place within our body, irrespective of what we do. I'll give you an example. The place where you are sitting now, you decided and you sat there. The same whole procedure has taken place within you, but it happened so fast, we are not able to understand that this really happened. Because the moment you came into the class, you saw, and then that quick evaluation took place, you decided, you chose, and this is how you went set in this particular place. And we have one more entity called soul. It is the divine being within us due to which we are living. It is not there in man-made things. But wherever natural habitat is there, natural living forms are there, there is soul in it. What Dr. said about self. And this is the science of self. When we understand that self and we directly live as per that self, then we'll be happy. Because the very nature of the soul entity is bliss. That's why everyone is looking after happiness. Nobody wants suffering, nobody wants pain. Okay, so we want to understand that our life aspect is divided into two compartments. One is the decided compartment, which we call as destiny. It is natural. The reason nobody has anything in their hand what happens now. But in that situation, what we decide inside, within ourselves, that is where we have free will. That is where our independence is there. And if we encash on that, if we work on that, then even in the worst of our life situation, we can remain happy. The reason, very quickly, like if I am asleep and someone tells me anything, or till I don't wake up, if they do anything to me, what happens to me? Anything happen? People can say you are unaware of things, what is happening to you. Now I wake up, what happens? I get mad. If they are doing good, I'll be happy. If they are doing bad, I'll be upset. But now the holistic science teaches us how to sleep while in a wake-up condition and understand how things happen, why things happen, and how am I supposed to handle that situation. Then you're done. So, what is important? Anything we think outside the decided aspect and the decision aspect, these two compartments of our life, is blunder, is ignorance, is puzzle, and it is a result of all the confusion what we have. If you know that this is a decided part, I cannot do anything about it, what can I do best to make the right decision now? Because whatever is happening now is result of what was decided previously. And without a decision, nothing can happen now. Without a cause, there cannot be any effect. And if something is happening today, it is effect only. You cannot change the effect. So it is said, you have the causes in your hands, might as well change them. Use that independence, use that free will, and make the best of what you can do today. Then if you are good today, if you are perfect today, your tomorrow, in fact tomorrow never comes. Tomorrow never comes, but if you learn to make your today perfect, you are a perfect person. So how to handle life's natural business of happening, which makes us happy or sorrowful on one side, but on the other side, with the tools of holistic inner science, we can live blissfully forever from inside. And this is the greatest challenge, to decide firmly the right thing at the right time. Okay, we take the example, the clothes you're wearing, also you have dozens of clothes in your wardrobe. You decided that that's how you're wearing that, the kind of hairstyle you keep, you decided that's how we are doing like that. Everything that we are doing, it is because of our decision only. But what we need an evaluation for ourselves, that why it is happening. And if we make a good evaluation, we really understand why things are happening. You became a doctor, you chose to take this university, maybe you had got several other universities also. That's how. Every happening, there is a decision factor on our side. So this is no imagination. It is a blatant fact. It is truth of our life. And if we understand this power of decision, there's some movie also on secret and all that. But then you must make an attempt to use that in our life as an experimental tool. Then you will really see that the world is beautiful. And we must live how to live blissfully around in this beautiful world. And don't disturb the nature. Okay. A caution to be taken while making a decision. We are responsible. So if that decision affects others, we have to consult them. If it is for me, my own self, then nobody is going to question me. So let's say an example at home, if it is going to affect others, I must consult people at home. Otherwise, the responsibility comes on my head and I lose that trust. Same way if I'm working, if I have to make any vital decision, I must consult my superiors because it is going to affect the company performance. And the last thing that can happen in a disaster is what? I lose my job. So then we are always cautious, we are always watchful about what we are doing. So decide to deal amicably with all relations. Unknowingly or subconsciously we have decided that we are going to act in a particular way with some or the other person, what we are going to or who we come across. And that's why we act like that. But if we have decided from inside that no matter what the other person do, I will handle the interaction in an amicable, balanced way, then things will change. Okay, so that was decision aspect. Relation management. What relations we have? Father, mother, parent, brother, sister, grandfather, grandmother, uncle, auntie, cousins. As a citizen of the country, you are citizen for your friends, your neighbors. For your own family, husband, wife, children, father, mother-in-law. If you follow a religion, then you have religious master, fellow disciples, religious friends, and at work, colleagues, boss, subordinates, business friends, etc. But the primary relation, these of 24/7, we only make them for a few hours or few years of our life. But we stay in our body 24/7. The reason I say this is my body, that this is my home. When I say that my home and I am separate. But we are not consciously aware of this fact that we are living in this body as a different entity, what people say about self, who we are not aware of, who we are ignorant about. So when we understand that the closest relation is our body self, so mind, speech and body. If we understand that, and holistic science has given wonderful explanation and scientific justification of how to handle ourselves. And if we have learned how to handle ourselves, other people's are very simple. Because when I live with someone for 24 hours, others they only meet for a few hours a day, or maybe once in lifetime. These obligations, whoever we come across, they are of give and take. They either give us happiness or they take happiness. Or they give suffering, they take suffering. Life is nothing but dealing with these relations only. And remember, wonderful thing is, relations are there where there is eye-to-eye contact. This college has so many students. You are never going to come across all those students with eye-to-eye contact. And wherever there is eye-to-eye contact, there is a relation. Even in any gathering you see, even in the same class, some of them you will never meet. So that's it. Let us see how we can handle these relations, because whenever there is give and take, it is extension of my body self only. So if I have learned to handle my body, I can easily handle my extension, which is a great challenge, yes. So we have nothing to do with the 7+ billion population of the world. We have informal relations at home, we have formal relations outside, and other people. So actually we have to deal with few thousands only, and those are the people who give me happiness or suffering, happiness or pain in my life. And if I have learned to handle them amicably, then I'll be happy and cheerful and peaceful all the time. That's it. And we keep wandering because, why? While living in this present decided body, I make such weird decisions which make me wander, which make me suffer now and future suffering also. So I must learn to fulfill these obligations, and if I have learned, I'm done. Okay, so one who knows how to manage his relations is a man of perfection. he is the most successful person. Even a manager, a CFO, if he can manage people nicely, then he is a successful person. And truly he is a free person. So if we have learned to handle our own body self, the true happiness factor, bliss factor lies there. And that's why we live maximum time in our home. So if we have, this is our first home and outside is our second home. How well we live with ourselves, our home will be a paradise. Okay, what are the effects of strained relations? They are hurt by me. They are not happy with me. Somebody likes me, nobody wants me, some even hate me. There are differences, argument, clashes with these relations. I am not happy, I cannot get along with them. This affects my mood, my health, my performance, and I may even get stuck with some addiction. So it is very important that we must learn to manage our own self and our relations, because the addiction is a dangerous thing. My world becomes down and miserable, I feel lonely, I am left alone. Maybe I get depression and end up having dependence on some terrible medication. And anything, we have to depend on any chemical, it's a very dangerous thing. So if we learn, we must have an immediate solution to this, and holistic science has it. Because it is not something new, it is not something different, but it is inherently working within us, and if we have known and understood that, then you can make use of it. What are the causes of such strained relations? My thought, speech and action, they keep hurting others, which I'm not aware of. I want others to live as per my desire. I'm selfish, I don't consider anybody's opinion. My way is highway, what is said commonly. Dominating ego. Attempting to be number one. Everyone wants to be number one. How many people become one? Only one. And the rest of them, they feel jealous of that number one. And how do you define number one? Is that number one forever? No. Whatever gold medal I carry, someone is going to beat my record and I'm done. So, psychological effect only. Doesn't matter, you work hard, but back of our mind you must have some right understanding, some basic understanding that what will be the nature of number one. Okay, so because of that I keep hurting others. I have my own agenda. I don't care for others. I never consult others. This is all about our life. Now the nature's law, what is revealed by the holistic inner science is, I am whole and so responsible for myself. So it is said, my individual being is minuscule of the universe. As we have noted that the 7 billion population, I have nothing to do with that. But whoever I interact, that is my world, that is my universe, and if I have learned to handle them, and more so, if I have learned to handle this universe, then outside is reflection of this only. So the holistic science has revealed that if everything is natural, then nobody is at fault, truly speaking. But we have understood that whatever happens in our life now is the decided aspect of our living. So if I make the right decision now, then it will change everything. World, whatever I see today is a reflection of my own self. So if I want to see myself, I can only see in the mirror. And the other mirror where I can see myself, understand myself, experience myself is the world, people of the world who I come across. It says that I can only suffer because of my fault. If I have not committed any mistake, I cannot suffer. Although the circumstantial evidence do not prove my fault, but still I am suffering. What it means, the circumstantial evidences are not showing all those evidences which are working behind the curtain. Otherwise, without my fault, I cannot be suffering at all. So the phrase goes like this: sufferer is at fault. And the answer is, scientific circumstantial evidence is the true understanding or judgment or solution to our suffering. The physical evidences are not proving my guilt or my fault, but scientific circumstantial evidence means those evidences which are not physically present, they are not apparent, they are not visible now, but they are working, and due to that I am suffering. It takes a while, because we have seen several stories of the past great people, and they say that because of their previous life, this thing had happened, and that's why it happened in their life today. Okay. Today, the family constitution, where people are gathering, it is like garden, like how we have in a gardens different types of plants, fruits, flowers. Nobody are alike. Just imagine, why are they not fighting? Because they cannot speak. So they said, there's a saying, it goes like this: if these plants had that ability to speak, if we visit in a garden, we would find them fighting. You are red, you are white, you are big, you are small, but they don't speak. That's how they are living happily. That's where a key to happiness is mind your speech. They say mind your tongue, but this is one. It is not like a farm. You know, you have farms of corn, miles and miles of farm, but it is all corn only. It is not like that today. Anything that happens in the nature is for settlement only, because whatever disturbance that was caused in the nature, it is happening now as a natural happening only. So what we must do in any situation, we have back in our mind a decision: I will settle this issue, I want to settle this issue, then it will happen naturally. But if I say I am going to fight, then finish. It is going to end in a fight, and result, disaster. So we must follow principles of holistic inner science. It says perfect humility. In the sense, if I have to deal with anyone, and if I deal with humility, I will not have any problem. And second, although we look different, we are same. Because the material with which it is made is the same. So if we see ocean anywhere in this world, there are so many oceans around. Are they different? They have been given different names, but principally it is water only. Whether water is there in the vapor, in the ocean, in the distilled water, the mineral water bottle, or in the sky as clouds, the same water only, but different form. Same way, we are made of the same material, but we are unable to see through transparently that we are the same. But with this understanding, we can easily deal with ourselves, because others are not they. I am dealing with myself only, so I have no problem. So this will help us to deal with everyone with oneness. No problem. Holistic solution for harmonious relationship. Understand that relations are glassware. If they break, you cannot fix them. So if we have a thing in our mind that relations are like that, we must handle them with care. We say we send something fragile and we take care so much. But relations, many times we ignore the delicateness of the relation. So here. And it is said, why should we consider everyone as they are good? After all, he is a good person or she is a good person. Why? Is the person living? is the nature supporting that person to live? Then who are we to discard them? So if the nature is supporting them, that means some goodness is there which is making them survive. But we are not able to see that goodness in that person. So with that positive vision, my dealing will change. Unfortunately, I am not able to see the goodness in that person. But the very fact that nature is supporting that person, the nature is allowing that person to live, that means there is something goodness. Definitely there is some goodness. Otherwise, the nature will not support that person. That's what. We must learn to live as per others' desire. Then the law is our desire will naturally get fulfilled. That's the law, give and take. The world won't change for me, so I must learn to adjust. And adjust everywhere is the key phrase. Resolve to avoid clashes because I want to be happy. Life is nothing but give and take. So we must, wherever we are, if we are working, then we have some people working under me. And if I take care of my subordinates, my superior will always take care of me. But I want to please my superiors and keep pushing my subordinates. That is where I am a big loser. I'm a big loser. Because they depend, my subordinates depend on me. So I must take care of me. The result would be, the effect would be, my superiors will naturally take care of me. Wonderful principle. So we must live with honesty, because dishonesty is the worst kind of foolishness, the best kind of foolishness we could be doing. And the holistic science says our relations are we only. If we are not they, then we will not meet them. And even if we meet them, we will not interact with them. The very fact that we interact, there is a dealing, so we are dealing with ourselves only. Okay, practicing tools. We must observe ourselves. People say, be mindful about what you are doing. Be mindful about whatever we are doing. While walking, while driving, we are mindful. Otherwise, imagine the disaster. We don't want to see that. So we are mindful. And when you understand that some mistake is committed, acknowledge that. That is where compassion comes. I accept my mistake. Ask for forgiveness. I'm sorry for whatever mistake was committed. And then decide, resolve. Never to commit that mistake again. That is where we are making use of our faculty of making decisions. And this thing, what you are carrying, it has the 9 different very common ways where we commit our mistakes. And it is a good, you can say as a prayer, it can be said as good determination which we can do for our life, for happy and blissful living. It is saying the universal projection for rich inner living. And there are 9 different aspects. You can read that. It is given with explanation. That's why it is said 9-dimensional projection. Again, relations are glassware handled with utmost care. Okay, science of food. We won't be going in detail, but we will see that air, water, and food is the common thing we need. Air, we try to see that we are living in a good surrounding. Water, we take care, drinking in the right place. Food is the one we must take care of that. We are living entity, so whatever we consume, it's all living only. But just imagine in all the foods of the processed food, what we are eating nowadays, commonly eating, there's so many chemicals in it. All the preservatives, the taste enhancers, flavors, colors, they are not natural. And due to that, cancer is the biggest problem today. We can go in very much in detail, but we will see that later. So this one American author, naturalist, he has said something. You may consider yourself happy when the food that you eat is also your medicine. So if food is consumed as medicine, then you will always be happy. Elaboration can do it in future for. Okay. Core principles of blissful living, importance of sincerity. You are studying here. what is your job today, what is your work today, what is your commitment, you should be sincere to your studies. If the professor teaches us for 1 hour, I feel the rest of the 23 hours we must focus on what he has taught us. At the same time, we must refer to whatever references, go through those references and have complete picture of what he has said. Okay, someone will be considered sincere when he would not do this because he doesn't want others to do the same thing to him. He will not hurt ego of any person. He will not hurt foundation of any religion. It is part of this only. He won't disrespect any religious preacher. He will not dislike or hate anybody. If I hate or I dislike, someone is going to dislike and hate me, which I won't like. I won't hurt through my speech. I won't have desire, gesture or thoughts of perverted sensuality or passion toward any gender except my wife or my husband. No relation beyond that, otherwise the family breaks. Okay. No excessive temptation toward any particular taste of food. The reason is our body needs 6 different tastes of food and in a balanced condition, in a balanced state. Anything in excess or anything less makes us fall sick, and the medication what these people give, they try to compensate that. Never show disregard towards any living or dead, someone present or absent. And never see that anybody, I will never see anybody at fault or be any instrument for anybody's misery or sorrow. So I should not become party to anybody's suffering. That's how I must live my life with that responsibility. Yeah. So it is said, sincere becomes moral. If you are living with that care, you will become moral. And if you are crossing those limits, boundaries, then the holistic science has given us these tools of adjust everywhere, avoid clashes, positive vision, suffer at fault. The world is my echo, my reflection. Other persons are mere delivery people. So sincere would never cheat anyone. That's what it is. So it's okay. Sincere person will get no objection certificate, green signal from everywhere. World is ours, we cannot afford to be immoral to ourselves in our own world. Special persons will always live with moral binding. Immoral will always live with inferiority complex because of his mistakes. How to live successfully, studies and career. Basic thing is when we are living with firm decision, perfect humility, discrimination, free vision. So quickly we will see that. In any situation, look around who suffered, because sufferer is at fault. Scientific circumstantial evidence is the answer. So whatever happened is just. I must adjust everywhere and never procrastinate to avoid clashes. And further evaluate the situation with positive vision. Understand that the whole world is my reflection only, so don't see laws settle. And to be honest to yourself and others, I must be honest, because dishonesty is best foolishness. When I fail, whether I fail or succeed, failure always teaches me the most than my success, because I am whole and so responsible for myself. And when I live with this inner understanding of holistic inner science, I will ultimately succeed. So these are the factors why I must adjust, because problem is outside. No, problem is with me. I am not adjusting because the world will not change for me. I must learn to adjust. I cannot say why the other person behaved, because misbehave with me. Who gives the other person that inspiration to deal with me like that? It is natural. So when we understand all those things, we are going to see this in detail in the practicing tool. there any issue with our ego when I'm hurting others? So that's why. Wherever I'm not adjusting with others, that is my problem. So it's all about that. We are going to take that in the practicing to more in workshop session. So what we want to highlight over here, you in basic, fundamental, you are whole and soul responsible for yourself. World is our reflection. We are the maker of our destiny. Our relations are we only. Decide today, I don't want to hurt anyone to my mind, speech and body. And whatever happens, I will adjust. Be mindful of what we are doing. Correct wherever mistakes are committed. I am everywhere and I can live blissfully. Thank you so much.
Now we have 15 minutes before we end the session and have lunch. So there's question and answers. I hope you had some questions, a lot of burning questions. And I think as a part of your study also in the organizational behavior, there are a lot of hidden items here that will be helpful in your life, in your studies, and your profession. So if anybody's interested in having this PowerPoint, we'll be more than glad to share it with you. So it is a very, very good tool. I was a professional project manager for 35 years, investing house company. I'm retired now, and some of the tools I used, and I was a very successful project manager using these tools. So with that, let's open up for questions.
Yes, please.
Sir, when we are always giving our best to each and every relation, so obviously this is like a food, you know, you feel hungry, you eat food, you're feeling thirsty, you drink water. So whenever you are giving your best towards other but you are not getting the same in return, so where do you stand? Do you see the fault within yourself? Even then you know you are giving your best. So
Correct.
I saw that that part is not covered in this because it's
It is there in the decided part. What was decided previously is coming back to you now. It is like you did not really work hard for the exam. You getting the result and you are very much upset with the result. You say, I'm working hard now. But no, you did not work hard for the exam. Because what you are getting now is a result of what you have already appeared. So, should I stop working now? Should I stop studying now? No. Do you understand? I'm going to mess up my life still further. So I must continue doing good so that my tomorrow would be good. If my today is bad, it is because of what I had done bad.
so there is a quotation of Mother Teresa that at the end she says, it is between you and your God. It was never between you and them anyway.
You and who?
It is between you and your God. It was
Your who? Who said God?
God.
Uh-huh.
It was never between you and them anyway. That means it was never between you and the people anyway. So give the world the best you have. And it was never enough. So I forgot the full quotation, but it was like this. So is that means just give your best and never expect anything in return?
See, one thing is that you cannot do anything without expectation.
That's
If you have come to this college, you have come with an expectation.
That's
If
right.
I have come here with an expectation, but what is that expectation? That matters the most. Because what I have experienced, I want others to learn, to share, and I want others also to experience the same. So that is the reason. Now you say that if you want to give something, see, everyone wants, but they don't want to give. That is the attitude they have learned in this world, which is wrong, which is wrong. So we must learn to give. And if you are not getting today, understand that you are not given. No bank is going to give you without a credit. So you must earn credit now. Then you will have enough, whatever you want. So by giving, you are earning credit in the nature. And if you're not getting today, you don't have enough credit because you did not earn that credit previously. And if you really observe, then many times where we are succeeding, we have success, you don't see apparently that you have done something great, but still you have succeeded. And many times you did not really work hard, but still you're getting good enough. What is that? That is where that factor is coming of our credit. So by giving today with right decision, we are earning credit for our future life.
Okay.
But when I am giving today, that time itself, I feel that happiness. But if I take, that happiness is not there. What happiness I get by giving, I don't get by taking. Although, on its face value, we like it. But then, no, it doesn't last long. Because I want more. That's what it is. Yes, sir.
I have one small question.
Please.
One observation I can say. You said adjust everywhere, that's fine. Wonderful concept. But if someone borrows $1,000 from me and doesn't return back, so should I adjust?
No, first of all, wonderful question. If someone asks for that money, then you must evaluate. What if I don't get back? I feel bad. So give as much. If it doesn't come back, you are happy.
So by default, you have to give loan in the expectation that the money will not come back.
Not come back. Because when it doesn't come back, it is really going to upset you. So be wise enough. Let him find 10 different people and take $100 from each. That is not your problem. But you have done your charity with thinking back of your mind that if it doesn't come back, I'm okay.
So that is charity, that's
So-
not borrowing, right?
No. You are giving them, but with this inner understanding. As you give that as charity only, so that your heart don't collapse. It is very important. And today's time, forget it. People want these means so that they can live happily. You remain in tension, I enjoy my life. I never said I'm not going to give you. But you said, but I'm going to give you. Whenever everything is fine, I'm going to give you. I'm going to return. Don't you trust me? I'm your friend. I'm your brother. I'm your partner. What relation you come across. So when it is money, you be very clear in your transaction. Give as much that if it doesn't come back, you are happy. You make face it, you dramatize the situation, you're very upset, but back of your mind you know that I have already planned for it. I already thought it over. Then what if it doesn't come back? You should not upset me.
Because the basic concept for us is to be happy. So
Obviously.
we should
Very
make
important.
that clear in our mind that in whatever circumstances, if this thing happens, like we should set our limits, our
It's
boundaries.
called foresight. We lack that foresight, that's why we end up in trouble. Because there is every possibility. You must think of all the possibilities. Just let us say, why do we keep getting iOS updates? Because they keep finding problems and they keep correcting them. So with the best of the foresight, they have made the operating system. But still they keep finding the problems, they fix those bugs. They keep fixing those bugs. Same way we are fixing our life bug. Ultimately when we will be happy, no sorrow, 100% happiness, that is bliss only. But wherever we find that there is suffering, there is pain, there is sorrow, we must correct that because nobody likes that. So ultimately it is going to fill in the whole circle, full 360-degree happiness. That's one thing. Yes.
like we covered the tools to apply the holistic science,
Yes.
which was more related to our inner conscience and inner thinking. So I just want to ask, we just go for the idealness and the expecting the least and doing the
Expecting
best.
what?
Expecting the least and doing the best.
Expecting the
what
least.
we are, yeah,
Yes.
which is what the inner science is. But by any chance, is any tool of holistic science, tells us about the things which are uncontrollable. As for example, if I'm living in a society, and in the society, if the management comes up with a policy which is unfavorable to you, or for which you are not in favor of,
Right.
right? And it's uncontrollable because you are in a minority, and the majority of people comes up with a new policy. So, is there any tool or the way to deal with that situation?
One thing is that any situation, if you are the sufferer, you are at fault. Back of your mind, you must decide that, understand that, and decide. See, if you are running a company, what would be your motive? What would be your goal? Definitely, you want to earn more. Somewhere you are going to make rules such that those rules are in your favor. But many things the employees, they don't understand. Not all of them understand. But your rules are such wherein you are earning money. And that's how you survive. And that's how you run the company, you pay your employees. So if you see the overall picture, then you are having that benefit all the time. So you are also benefited, the employees are also benefited. But someone who wants to go beyond that, then he will have to say bye-bye to that company. Yes.
Sir, as you mentioned that if we are in a fault, and it's usually our fault, my fault. So you mean to say that if this situation comes, as per the example which I referred to just before, in that case, is it like I have chose the wrong community to join, or I could have thought about that earlier?
It's not like that. It's not like that. Very simple. You decide to work, that means you undertake a job,
Yeah.
then there are limitations. But if you start your own business, then the picture changes. Obviously. That's how people decide to start their own business. They want to earn more, they want liberty, they want independence. That's how things change. So it's a process wherein you are learning. And when you become stable and with that understanding, in the sense that knowledge of handling a business also, then only you will go. Otherwise you will say, oh, I'm happy with this money, there's no point in going for bigger money, I don't need it. But someone may not think like that. Someone will say, no, I want more. Then he will go for a bigger business. For a business, then bigger business.
So
There are so many people, professionals, electrical engineer, management guys, they have taken a business totally away from their own field. Why? Because it was just not money. There were other things also, other humiliation what they had to face, and they did not want that. So they started their business. They were family business. The children are working somewhere. Parents are saying, why don't you take care of this business? Although it has nothing to do with what profession he is in. But there is no problem. After all, everything finally comes down to money only, what you get. See, you're working there, you're away from the family, but you join the business, you're with the family, and you're earning much more than what you're earning there. But he feels that I studied, so I must use my professional knowledge. Understand? That's all.
So the basic formula over here is be happy, just move on with the
Yes,
problems.
yes, and see, in the initial stage, your commitments are different. But then, commitments change. Then money becomes important, what you do doesn't become important, doesn't remain important. So that's how now, what are you going to do? That's how people switch over.
Okay, this time coming up, a couple of things. We have this questionnaire, so please fill it in. And what you have heard today, try to practice adjust everywhere. And after a month, at the end of your session, please give feedback whether you were better, happier using this tool, or does it help you in your life. So if you can do that, we would really appreciate it and hope you learn something. If you send a feedback, if somebody wants to say, was it good, bad, what we can improve, we have 1 minute.
And reflect on this for your own sake. Evaluate it, because you are in that field, you really appreciate things which are given in this.
Because we are in this business of parting our knowledge, what we have. So anybody wants to say how the session okay?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Okay, you talked about us having that our happiness are in our hands, and then I thought about something that sometimes in marriages, when a woman is not happy in her marriage, but she's having to stay because of the societal norm of not being able to keep a marriage, and because she's supposed to make her husband happy. Now, would you still say that?
See,
If she decides to leave, is her happiness in her hands? Because I would feel that her decision to leave is that she's choosing to be happy, despite what the society thinks or what her husband thinks. But in that situation where she's being humiliated by the society, how do you put together her happiness?
see, one thing is there. Okay, society, whatever they say, they have their own norms and all that, but you must evaluate your own situation. See, when two people are not getting along, what is relation? To give or to take? Relations are meant to give and get naturally. But when the giving aspect is compromised, then the getting aspect definitely gets compromised. That is where somewhere someone is mean either way, either husband or wife, and that is where these problems come up. Otherwise there is no reason. Principally there is no reason. Only thing is that you have to learn to deal with the temperament of the other person. And if you have learned to handle that, then most of the time, because it is said that if you marry someone else, there will be some other problem. Even if you break that marriage also and find the third one, you find some problem, because nobody is perfect, because you are not perfect. So we have to learn to adjust.
Sir, I want to add one small
Yes.
thing to your question.
Yeah.
As long as you are individual, not married, happiness is in your hands. When you are married, your happiness is in spouse's hands. Spouse's hands.
In the boss hand.
Yeah, in your spouse's hands.
Okay.
Okay, wife's happiness is in husband's hands, husband's happiness is in wife's hands. I will tell you a small 1 minute joke about this, so that we explain the concept clear. Once recently married couple, they were walking on the street in India. In India, there's a palmist, right? You know palmist? Who did the palms? And the husband wanted to show the hand like this to the palmist to read the hand. Before the palmist could say something, wife talks to the palmist. His future is in my hands. Tell me only about his past. Okay.
Yes,
And I would like to add one thing which I always give an example to my friends.
yes, sure, yes.
I always say that there are two kind of relations. One is God gifted. Our parents, we can't choose our parents, it's God gifted. Our siblings, we can't choose them, it's God gifted. And somehow we adjust ourselves to live with them. But then it comes the spouse and our family, friend circle, and one day or another we start having problems with them. It's something in our mind that these relations are God gifted, somehow we have to live with them, and we adjust ourselves to live with them.
Correct.
But those relations on which we have, some right to get along with, or we have an option, a better option, in terms of friends or a life partner or whatever, we always prefer, a better option. So doesn't matter if you are going to choose for a better, you will still look for even better option.
Right.
So the self, it's again in ourself, we never feel contented, but we feel satisfied in terms of our family. So at once we think that, he's my husband, and somehow I have to adjust myself according to him. I think most of the problems will start to fit eventually.
One thing is that the way you said that those relations are God gifted, this relation is also God gifted because it's a natural happening only. After
But see,
happening,
we think that it's in our hands.
that is what the problem is.
That's right.
That is what the problem is. So it is what is the answer to that? Before jumping into it, think 1,000 times.
10,000 times.
Once you jump, the only master key of your relation to survive is adjust everywhere.
That's right, because we know we don't have another option, we don't have a substitute for our parents, we don't have a substitute for our siblings, but in our mind we know that if I'm going to give divorce to my husband, I'm going to look for another.
Which is a misconception.
That's right. But
We don't know the consequences of this. That is why people do it.
that's right, sir.
But if we know the consequences, then you will never do
We
it.
don't think mindfully.
Yes, that's true. Just imagine if your so-called God-gifted relations do anything, you don't have much problem.
That's right, sir.
But if anything comes from the other end, you want to fight back. See, this is the problem. So if we understand, see, it's only a matter of how you think, how you see things, how you believe. So if belief changes, behavior changes. Belief will change based on understanding. So what is important? The holistic inner science gives us right understanding. And then there's no problem. There's no problem. See, what it has given, the world is my reflection. So if I find any flaws outside, it is inside. I don't change anything in the mirror, but I change myself, the reflection changes in the mirror.
Okay, thank you very much all, and we still like some feedback how it was it useful or not, because Professor made you guys come here in lieu of what you were learning, so, okay? We don't have to record it, you can tell us on personally. Thank you very much.
Yeah, by the way,